being the chosen one, people will hate your guts. People will, when they talk to you and you talking with a certain level of confidence and aggression and passion, and you talking to them and they in this effed up state of mind where they feeling real insecure and they feeling real lost about what they doing, and they complain all the time because they don't know what direction to go in life. And these people, grown people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, right? And when you talking to them with that passion and that motivation, some of them will look like they want to throw up. Some of them will have this look on their face like you stabbed them in the stomach. And some of these people will be your family. Some of these people will be your mother and your father. It can be very lonely when you have a gift and you want to do right with that gift. Human beings are always communicating, even when we are not speaking. I've had, this is a frustrating topic, but I'm going to talk about it. Unfortunately, when you are somebody who strives for excellence and you're very motivated and you're very hardworking, when you communicate with the everyday person, you're going to feel that that conversation is one-sided. And if you are a person that has a very good sense of discernment and intuition, and almost to the point of claircognizance, which is my case, you're going to be able to sense through a person's body language that they're not on your level, or that they are jealous of you, or that they can't reciprocate when it comes to communication in the way that you can. I'm talking about a very specific type of interaction, right? All over the internet, these people are called the chosen ones. I've always had a hard time calling myself that, even though I do feel like a lot of those messages do resonate with me. And I'm like, maybe I am the chosen one. You know, I understand. Like, I feel like I relate to that line of, what's the word I'm looking for? I just relate to some of the messages that's, you know, for the chosen ones, but I never want to call myself that out of fear that I would become conceited. So I don't really call myself that. But I definitely, for the sake of this video, we are talking about people that you would consider to be the chosen ones. So a lot of the times, the chosen ones are very gifted. The chosen ones are very, very intuitive. And chosen ones are very intelligent. Chosen ones, a lot of the times, more often than not, are very exceptionally, are exceptionally talented, have a lot of artistic gifts. A lot of the chosen ones are very musically gifted. A lot of chosen ones are great instrumentalists, and the list goes on. From my experience, everywhere that I've gone, and in many friendships and in many jobs, and I still continue to experience this to this day, is one-sided conversations where a person is communicating with their body language. They're trying to act like that they're your friend and they're supportive. And I'm going to tell you about a recent experience that I had at work. It was a couple of days ago. I was talking to this young lady. I know I'm going to sound like a grandma to some of y'all, even though I'm in my late 20s, but I'm an old soul. That's also a thing with the chosen ones. A lot of the chosen ones are old souls, right? Like, we'll be in our 20s talking like we in our 80s. Like, we have a way of speaking where you can't help it but to think, I could have sworn That was my grandmama talking. you know, we a lot of the times possess ancient wisdom. Yes, I'm saying we because maybe perhaps for me, it's just me resisting my role, resisting that position because many, many times God has told me that I was born to be a leader and that I had certain gifts, but I don't really like to talk about it too much because I don't know, I have this thing where I just don't want to be perceived as full of myself. So I just kind of avoid it altogether. But anyway, um let's talk about these one-sided conversations. Let's talk about these conversations at work, with your family, whoever. This is something I've dealt with my whole life, where I communicate with somebody and during the conversation I see them shutting down. And a lot of the times in those conversations, I'm just saying positive stuff. Or maybe I'm expressing myself like as if I believe in myself. And so recently, this conversation with this coworker, I was just expressing how I felt. We had quite a long conversation because this is somebody that I thought I was cool with. But after this conversation, her body language communicated so much that her mouth was not saying, and it made me uncomfortable. I wouldn't tell her this because you can't be like, your body language said ABC and that's why I ain't gonna F with you no more. Like, no. And if you're the quote unquote chosen one, your nature is to observe, analyze, calculate, and you write it down in a notebook in your mind. Or you write it down in a real notebook in real life. But you ain't gonna be like, oh, I feel that you're jealous of me. I feel that no, you just keep it to yourself and you move according to the information that you have just gathered. You move according to the spiritual downloads that you have just received about that person. Right? So I was having a conversation with this young lady. She is older than me, but I don't believe in age. I feel like I'm older than people that's in their 60s. Anyway, she's in her early 30s. I'm in my late 20s. And I was talking to her about different things. And I have to say, I was experiencing a little bit of anxiety and I wasn't necessarily in my best mind. So that's why I was, I guess, venting a little too much to her, which I try not to live life with regrets, but for the sake of this video, I regret it, right? And I was expressing I was talking about different things. And I said something about myself pertaining to some experiences that I've had with people in the past and some of the things that people have said to me and about me, and how they would describe me. We were just in that kind of conversation. And it was positive. And I said to her, some people have said to me, because she herself has said too that she felt my frequency was quote unquote too high, not in like a mean way or anything, not in like a negative way. I felt that she was trying to like give me advice in like a good way, but I don't know. I don't think she was trying to be like malicious or anything, but she was saying my frequency was like really high for the environment that I'm in or whatever. This was, a different conversation. And I was expressing to her and I said, sometimes when people talk to me, they'll say things like, are you real? Or something similar to that, and it was like as soon as I said it to her, she like quickly like snatched her head and looked away. And she did this consistently throughout the conversation. She kind of like couldn't really handle I felt this way about this person before, that she can't really handle my personality because I'm a very strong person and I'm very motivated and I don't do sob stories, and she's one of those people where she likes to complain, and I don't know if she's trying to garner sympathy, or a lot of females do that, and I don't really like that because I'm not the person to come to just to cry to. I want to help you. If you're going to come to me and cry to me, I'm going to be like, okay, what can we do to fix the problem? And that's, I guess, a very masculine way to look at it, but that's just how I am. I'm the bull, If you coming to me with an issue, I'm gonna be like, okay, I understand you crying. I cry all the time. I'm an emotional person. But after I cry, I dry my tears and I say, okay, so how do we fix the issue? But anyway, so the whole entire time she was communicating with her body language that she felt threatened by me, even though she's supposed to be my work friend. And I picked up on all of it. And after that conversation, it was even more like, I've picked up on this from her before, like this feeling of like kind of jealousy, intimidation, feeling threatened, all these things, which I'm kind of used to. But with this conversation, it was like almost to the point of untrustworthy. Like her vibe was almost untrustworthy. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. I gotta go to the bathroom. Hold on. I don't exactly remember what I was saying before I went to go to the bathroom, but I'm gonna try to, let me just stick to what I was saying pretty much. Let's talk about what you are supposed to do when you keep having these one-sided conversations where you feel like that when these people talk about their life, you can tell that they expect a response from you. They expect for you to say, oh, they're there, and give them empathy and give them advice and be their big sister or whatever. But then as soon as the conversation is flipped and it lands on you, they start looking off into the distance. All of a sudden, they have been able to maintain eye contact with you the whole conversation. But as soon as you start talking about what you got going on, all of a sudden they start looking off into the distance. I've had some people start singing over me, and I mentioned this in another video. I had a friend who, she was hoping that I had some type of melancholic, poor me victim perspective on a very tough situation that I was going through, and I didn't. And I could just tell that that's what she wanted from me. And when I had a very positive attitude towards whatever was going on, she started singing over me because she didn't like that I had power over myself, because she wanted to have that power over me. She wanted me to be this victim so that then she could be like, oh, it must be tough. Here's what you do. Do this, do this, do this, do this. And I'm saying, and then I wasn't about to do that because I knew that the advice that she was going to give me wasn't going to resonate. Just as simple as that. I already knew what I wanted to do. I know what I want to do 10 times more than you will ever know. Let me put it this way. I know what I want to do. I know what works for me 10 times better than what you feel works for me, right? I'm one of those people. I'm not going to go to somebody outside of myself unless that person has a really strong grip on who they are. That person that I was talking to, that friend, she didn't have a strong grip on herself. It was like a week ago, she had been crying to me about how she hated her life. So I pay attention to everything. And that's when you're a chosen one, people don't like that. People don't want people around them that pay attention, because then you can see their flaws. You can see their manipulative ways. And I'm one of them people where if you push me hard enough, if you keep trying me, I'm a Taurus. We real reserved. We real quiet. We don't like to mess with nobody. But when you come into my bubble and you try to push me, I will call you out on your bull. And you're going to feel real uncomfortable. I've seen it happen. My wrath is pretty intense, right? But that's why I keep to myself. Because I'm also an empath. And I don't want to make people feel bad. But I'm one of those people where if you going to disrespect me and push, and I got to let you have it. It's against my policy to not let you have it, right? So, anyway, being the chosen one, people will hate your guts. People will, when they talk to you, and you talking with a certain level of confidence and aggression and passion, and you talking to them and they in this effed up state of mind where they feeling real insecure and they feeling real lost about what they doing, and they complain all the time because they don't know what direction to go in life. And these people, grown people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, right? And when you talking to them with that passion and that motivation, some of them will look like they want to throw up. Some of them will have this look on their face like you stabbed them in the stomach. And some of these people will be your family. Some of these people will be your mother and your father. Some of these people will be your sisters and your brothers. Some of these people will be your cousins. Some of these people, unfortunately, will be your damn spouse. It can be very lonely when you have a gift and you want to do right with that gift. And you want to do it all based off of what you feel God wants for you. You will have enemies. You will have wolves in sheep clothing trying to be your friend, acting like they like you when they really just trying to get close to you so they can figure you out and destroy you from the inside out. So, and you can tell who these people are through conversation. That's why I'm making this video. Because I always had that intuitive gift where I could tell that something was off when I'm communicating with somebody, but I struggled to listen to my intuition. I struggled to honor and value my intuition because of narcissistic abuse and, being told for ever since childhood that something was wrong with me. When you get an intuitive nudge and you still living in that energy of something wrong with you, you're going to think, nah, you just being anxious. Here you go again, worrying. It's a very judgmental reaction to your own damn intuition. That ain't right. We got to work on that. So in this video, here's some things that you absolutely should do as a star seed, an indigo, rainbow child, crystal child, chosen one, child of God, ascended master. Here's what you should do when you are in a conversation with a person and you know something one-sided, like let me go. Hold on. All right, so let's get into it. So when a person responds the way that I described, all of a sudden they can't look you in the eye no more, they turning away, all of a sudden they got something better that they gotta do, when they was deeply engaged in a conversation with you, when the conversation, when the spotlight was on them, like, what is it about this person, how come she get to have da-da-da, how come she get to experience this and I can't, blah blah blah. Jealousy. But they're not saying it with their mouth, but they're damn sure saying it with their body. Ooh, honey. So I felt and still feel very frustrated when I experienced this. But slowly but surely, a new wave of knowledge about this has been coming to me. And the knowledge says, just gather the information and keep it pushing. Be at peace when these people react like that, because they are just showing you how they feel about themselves. Don't internalize it, because a part of my frustration is me internalizing it a little bit and being like, I know that what I'm saying is nothing wrong with it, but there's that little wounded child that's like, you making me feel like I'm being dumb. You're making me feel like I'm doing too much. You're making me feel like I'm being extra. And so you need to speak to that inner child and say, listen, inner child, ain't nothing wrong with you. You have the right to express yourself in all the different phases that you are in. You don't have to feel regretful and remorseful every time you express yourself in a way that doesn't resonate with somebody. When you care about how they respond to you, it's because there's a small part of you that do care how they are perceiving you. And that's why you messing up at. Because people can only perceive you as deep as they perceive themselves and as deep as they perceive life itself. And people can only help you as much as they have been able to help themselves. We're all, in different classes, right? This, planet Earth is a school and we're all in different classrooms. And so try not to judge yourself and try not to judge them, because a part of me is judging them. I'm still in my 20s, so these are things that I'm working on overcoming, but a part of me is judging them. I'm in a point in my life when I'm angry. I'm like, damn, can I have a real conversation with somebody around here? Do we always have to talk about the things we don't like? Can we talk about our dreams and our goals and the next task, the next project that we're working on? I'm always working on a project. Always working on a project. Whether it be a local theater project, a local film project in the area, or working on my YouTube. I got 2 jobs. I'm always working on something, and I just want to talk about it without feeling like I'm hurting somebody, without feeling like I'm offending somebody, without feeling like I'm walking all over top of them and trampling their self-esteem and crushing their dreams. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to talk about what I'm passionate about. I just want to share this with you because I'm happy about it. And if you was to share something in your life that made you happy, I would listen and be happy for you. So why can't you be happy for me? So a part of it is pain. Because when it comes to my family, my mom was the same way towards me. Way back when I first started getting paid through YouTube, which I still don't get paid jack nothing, but I got my first $100 check from YouTube, Google AdSense, and I told my mom, and I was like, finally I can get paid doing something that I love. I told that to her. Wrong words. Wrong choice of words. Right? It was within itself the right words, but was spoken to the wrong person. And when I said it to her, she rolled her eyes and sucked her teeth and looked away. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to. I be trying, y'all, when it comes to that Bible verse, honor thy mother and thy father. And that's why I be like, let me not even talk about it, because I don't want to air out all of her BS. Everybody make mistakes. But good Lord, I could never. I don't have kids, but when I do, I'm going to raise my kids to believe that they can do anything that they put their minds to. I'm not going to project my inadequacies and insecurities and things like that onto my kids and make them feel that because it didn't work for me, it's not going to work for you. And my mom used those words. Well, me trying to do so-and-so didn't work for me when I was your age, so why do you think it's going to work for you? She would say things like that, and it really, really messed with me. But I'm overcoming it. I just said a mouthful, didn't I? Yeah. So, chosen ones, keep your head up. The reason why they can't reciprocate is because they just have not evolved to that level yet. And perhaps you have. And keep in mind also that it's important to humble yourself and know that these people also may have something about them that you don't have that you can stand to learn from. Even the people you can't stand, the people that act jealous towards you, they may have something that is an amazing trait that you can stand to learn from. So observe them and try not to judge them too much. Always try to see the light and the divinity in the people around you, because it makes it easier for you to be in that environment. And at the end of the day, love is really the root of life. So try to have love. You ain't got to be a people pleaser. You ain't got to be a doormat. You ain't got to be kissing booty. You ain't got to be lying and pretending for nobody. But it is important to be able to see the good in everybody and everything, because it's good for your mental health. And I don't mean see the good and act like you in a fairy tale world, but Sometimes it's good to just break away from the judgment, the anger, the irritation, and just be like, you know what? But that person did do this nice thing for me the other day, and I really do appreciate that. And I do that a lot to keep myself from being so bitter and angry, because I do have anger towards people. But what keeps me from just, being like some past narcissist in my life who just was so angry all the time and just, oh my God, horrible to be around. I always tell myself, I don't want to be like that. So let me forgive. Let me try to see the good in people so that I can be able to let go. And so that I'm not holding on to this bitterness. So try to see the good. If a person's personality energy is so unbearable that you really just can't see the good, ask God to remove them from your life. Okay? And yeah, chosen ones, you all of that. You all of that in a bag of chips. I'm slowly but surely being comfortable with using the term chosen ones because it does kind of fit. I don't know. I'm a little bit like, do I want to use this? But yeah, you was chosen for a certain path. So I guess you are a chosen one. You was chosen for a certain path that is very challenging. I mean, the path of the chosen ones is always hard. It's very challenging. You bear a certain weight and a certain burden that the everyday person doesn't have to carry. And that is the weight of vision. That is the weight of sight. You have insight, which is a certain sight, a certain vision that you can see. I mean, a certain vision you can see. A certain, prophecy. Certain realities from different dimensions you can see. You can see inside of yourself. You can see it when you go within. Other people are seeking vision outside of themselves. But because you're the chosen one, you have insight. You get the sight from within. Insight. Sight. Inside of yourself. Sight within. Every time you go be alone, you see God. So I hope that this helped somebody. It sure did help me to get this off my chest. Oh my, oh my. Sound like somebody, grandma. Oh my, oh my. All right. Well, y'all have a blessed day. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Love yourself. And love life. Deuces.